behind the flash. Good evening and welcome to the Community Development Committee meeting for Monday, May 12th, 2025. We have two items on this evening's agenda, with the first item being the matter of approval of the meeting minutes from the Community Development meetings as circulated from April 28th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Mitchell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Oswald. Any further discussion? Question's been called. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on. Item number 2 is the matter of a final plat for Riverfield Reserve Subdivision Number 1, consisting of 14.988 acres of land located on Indian Hollow Road. The matter was approved by Planning Commission on May 6, 2025. This was referred to by John Evanson of K. Hovnanian. And I do not see him, so it looks like Engineer Schneider. Are you here to speak on behalf?
I can.
Or yeah. All right, thank you.
As you stated, the Planning Commission did approve the Phase 1 plat for the Riverfield Reserve subdivision. This is roughly 100 homes that they're looking to plat out. They're just starting construction on the subdivision itself. The subdivider has entered into agreement with the city and has provided a guarantee to complete the project. So at this time, we recommended that it be approved.
All right, thank you, Engineer Schneider. Any comments from Mayor or Director Pianowski, since you're on Planning Commission, or Chief Building Official Farkas? No comments? I'll open it up to the committee for any comments or concerns. Mrs. Sawerka?
Through you, I'm not on the committee, but I just have a question about the water for this subdivision. Is that going to come from the 16th Street Tower or the one over by Walmart?
The water is supplied through Lorraine County Rural Water Authority.
Oh, it's rural water. Okay, so it's just our sewer
Yes,
and sanitation?
yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Sawerka. Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Mr. Chair. We're going to be getting more and more developments going south down Indian Hollow Road, and we're going to get a lot of traffic. Any ideas for traffic light or study or anything on when you come out on that Main Street? I forget what
Grafton
that.
Road.
Grafton Road.
Not that I'm aware of at this time. Those intersections are all outside the city, and the county would have to request that. I know as part of the development, they're adding a turn lane on Grafton Road for the development, but other than that, no other traffic improvements.
Mrs. Sawerka?
Sorry, I have another question through the chair.
You're good.
Okay. Just best guess. Is this farther than the farthest point in Four Seasons from city corp limits? Do you know, John?
I don't. If I was guessing, I would guess that Four Seasons is further.
It's further?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sawerka. Mr. Lippian?
Just a point of clarification, this is in the townships, correct?
The new subdivision is in the city of Elyria.
But borders the township.
Yes, yeah, it's surrounded by township.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lippian. Any further comments from the committee? All right, I'll read the committee.
Excuse me, I'm not on this committee, Mr.
Oh,
Senator.
Mr.
I
Stewart?
just a question in regards to, I know it was referenced about the Grafton Road, but I thought there was also discussion about Indian Hollow Road having a traffic study there in a turn lane. I didn't know if there's any property acquisition that was happening for that turn lane, or if that was either further explored.
I believe there's enough right-of-way if there were to be a turn lane. There is no turn lane, I believe, recommended as part of this, either this project or the Harvest Meadow project.
Okay.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the committee? Mr. Lippian?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Just one final clarification, because I know it's been a long time coming to get to this point. There were a lot of resident concerns with the neighboring townships. Did those all get resolved? I believe they did, didn't they?
I know a lot of them were. I don't know I can't remember what they all were. Some of them were they didn't want the street pointed at their house, and it actually wasn't. They were, when you actually saw the plans, they were actually north of their house and things of that nature. As far as drainage is concerned, I mean, they're going to take care of all the drainage and then some, I would say, so it's going to improve the entire area to a point, at least within the city, what borders it, but other than that, I don't think there was a lot of complaints, other than they just didn't want it there, but
But they feel differently now?
I don't know.
Okay, because we haven't heard from them in about 2 years, but I remember when they came in the meeting, they were raising Cain. So I was just checking to see if they've been assuaged since then, so you would know.
I have not heard anything.
Okay.
I do have one question. Does the sewer line go from is it connect from the current K-Hub development over Indian Hollow? Like it goes south across the street? Is that where?
Yes.
Because this is very distant from our sewer line. I was just curious as to
So
where.
years
it came from.
ago, the sewer line on Middle Avenue was extended south, back when Lorne Elbert and Mo Shaves owned these two pieces of property, and they were looking to build over in that area. And so it was extended down south to on Middle Avenue, where Rich Barron, the developer, picked it up. I forget the name of that subdivision, but he carried across over to Harvest Way, and then it now goes over to Riverfield Reserve, and it's pretty deep over there, and the intent is to extend it in the future if need be.
Thank you. Any further comments or concerns from the committee? All right, I'll read the committee report. We've considered the matter of accepting the final plat for Riverfield Reserve Subdivision Number 1. Legislation being drawn, an ordinance authorizing the approval of the said final plat. The plat was approved by Planning Commission on May 6th, 2025, with no conditions. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Oswald, seconded by Mrs. Mitchell.
Question.
Question's been called. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. If there's no further business to come before the Community Development Committee, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Oswald and seconded by Mrs. Mitchell.
Question?
Question's been called. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Good evening. At this time, I'll call finance to order. First item on the agenda is the matter of approval of meeting minutes from the Finance Committee meeting on April 14th and April 28th. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Pardon? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to move item number 13 up to number 2, and then when I come back in, Ms. Youssef, we'll do it then, after we finish item 13, that's going to be number 2. Okay, at this time, I will step out and, pardon? I will hand it over to Mrs. Davis.
At this time, the matter of wages for certain employees of the Elyria Municipal Court. Preferred by, Director Pileski and President Stewart.
Yep. Yes, through you, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
So this was some ongoing conversations that I've had with the Elyria Municipal Court. This was basically trying to put into place what was coming out of the committee in February 10th was the 6% raise that was, given to the AFSCME. And so we had talked about doing a 6% raise and then making that retroactive to the first pay period in January. And then revisiting the 2026 and the 2027 years to see if we can't come with a path moving forward, just based on the past discussions with that. And so when I had the opportunity to meet with both Clerk Rothgary and Judge Bennett and Judge White, I thank them for pulling back on the order to move forward with that, so that, just so we can kind of come up with, agreeing to that, and both government agencies working together for the betterment of the community. And so what I was proposing was back then, today, is to have, suggest the 6%, to have this committee, Finance Committee support a 6% pay retroactive to the first part of January of 2025 for non-bargaining units. So if Law Director Deary wants to weigh in as far as the language goes, Judge Bennett and Mr. Rothgary are here to answer any other questions for the committee, but I guess as far as getting that motion on the floor is kind of is the path going forward, or what we would like to do.
Through you, Madam Chair, just for purposes of drafting any legislation, and should Director Pileski have any further input, I would suggest that it would be retroactive to pay period 1. Will that work, Director Pileski?
Retro pay would start with pay period 2. Pay period 1 was time worked all in 2024.
Okay.
So pay period 1, it was like the very first week of January, so that was time worked in December. So all the other retro pays we've been starting with, if it's effective January 1, it's pay period 2.
Okay, so how would, for purposes of your office handling this retroactive pay, would you want it to say January 1st? Would you want it to say pay period 2?
January 1st is fine. I mean, we
Okay.
can, we'll just, typically what we do, if January 1st falls in the middle of the payroll, we back it up. But it'll be effective for pay period 2, because that's when work in 2025 started, is pay period 2.
Okay, all right, and I will make sure that, again, assuming and anticipating, should the motion concur, that I would recommend that the motion would state that this would be effective retroactive to January 1st, 2025.
Is there any other question from the committee? Any discussions? Would you like to ask Mr. Rothgary or Mr. Bennett to come up to, if you have any questions? Mr. Oswald, did you have your hand? Oh, okay. Well, I'll read the committee report. Okay. Just get.
I'm not on the committee, so someone will have to make that motion. So I guess would that would go into effect as an emergency as well then?
We need to read the committee report first.
Yes, I just,
Then okay.
ultimately the motion would have to.
The committee report. The wage for certain employees of the Elyria Municipal Court. The ordinance authorizing the said wage retroactive to 1/1/2025, 6% increase, emergency clause to implement.
So moved.
It was moved,
I was getting a motion.
I'll second the motion.
it was moved by Mr. Snyder and second by Mrs. Sawarka.
Under discussion?
Under discussion.
Go ahead, Mr. Oswald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not on this committee, but does it have to be put in there that we'll give them the 6% this term and then we will revisit it in the next terms, or is that not necessary to put it in that?
Through you, Madam Chair, the wages will be increased 6% going forward. Should there be any further increases, then council would need to act or take further action. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it doesn't have to be put in that motion.
If the committee wishes to take further action, then the motion would need to be amended accordingly.
Thank you.
Committee, I just had a question of, did we want to put this in writing? Because I'm a firm believer that if you leave something out, then they can say it wasn't in the original ordinance. So I wanted to say that we would revisit in 2026, 27. So I'd like to have the amendment to add that we would revisit, give chance to revisit this.
Through you, Madam Chair, Law Director Deary, wouldn't it be revisited automatically if there was another request to come
No.
forward? For an increase?
Through you, Madam Chair, if I understand what you're saying, Mr. Schneider, correctly, if another request came in, then yes, it would go back on the agenda. Obviously, the committee and/or council always has the right to, on its own, revisit it. But should you want to memorialize that, and you have done that in the past, you've also not done it in the past, then the motion would need to be amended to do that.
Okay. The motion concurs.
Okay, the second concurs. Now, under discussion, I would agree that we are looking at it for 1 year. I also support and ask that the courts reconsider coming and sitting down with the city to look at a salary structure review for years 26 and 27, and perhaps into the future, should they decide and work with the HR department administration to put a salary structure in place that makes them less reliant upon the union negotiations.
Any more discussion? Question?
Through you, Madam Chair, just for point of clarification before the vote, so this would be wages for certain employees, essentially all non-bargaining employees of Leary Municipal Court and non-elected. This will be an emergency. This will be retroactive to January 1st, 2025, a 6% increase to wages. This will be under emergency. Any increase for years 2026 and 2027 will be revisited.
Question's been called.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have, so be.
First off, thank you to Mrs. Davis. I appreciate that. Ms. Yusefi, if you want to give a quick overview.
Thank you, through you. I was asked to do just a quick report on the Gallagher Section 165 salary study, which does not include courts, so it's all other 165 employees other than municipal court employees. We had our first kickoff meeting April 10th, established a schedule of meetings. We'll be meeting every other week. The Gallagher personnel who actually did our last study in 2018, 2019, no longer work there. So unfortunately, because it's a different group, we do not have access to the files that they were working with. So we have some that were saved by people who worked here at that time. But I just wanted to let you know that we are recreating some of that. They have established a secure records site so that we are able to pass records back and forth securely. And right now we have created and updated all of our all the organizational charts for all the departments, and currently we are gathering and creating all job descriptions that we don't have all of them. So that should be done this week. And all employee data has already been sent on a census to them. So we have already established what our city comparables will be and our benchmark positions, and very similar to the last study that we did. And we're really on track with all of our deliverables, and anticipate, this to go smoothly. We should have a full report in 5 to 6 months from the start, so probably around September or October.
Any questions for Ms. Yusefi on 165?
Through you, 5 or 6 months would put us September, October?
Yes.
And through the chair, what is it that they couldn't find? They couldn't find the old files?
They didn't have any, the people who are doing the new study,
The Gallagher people?
the Gallagher people, do not have access to any of the files that were
Gotcha, from the previous?
from the previous
okay.
people. Yeah,
Okay, so they're recreating it?
we're creating some.
Okay.
We have some, we're creating some.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Any additional questions? Thank you very much. Excuse me. Next item on the agenda, number 2, the matter of delinquent and final utility accounts approved by the Utility Resolution Board and to be certified to the Lorraine County Auditor's Office. Mrs. Connor.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. There is a list of 24 accounts totaling $18,186.46 that need to be passed on to the auditors for leaning.
I'm going to let everyone look this over real quick. Mrs. Soroka.
Thank you, through the chair. I guess I'm not sure how we tackle this, but I think at some point, we need to come up with a better strategy for these sanitation only or the sewer and sanitation only accounts, because we're going to have more and more of them. And if the process is going to be every 2 months or 3 months that we got to send them over to the county and wait for them to get collected, it's just going to continue to pile up more and more. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm just kind of posing the question that it's going to become, I mean, we just approved that subdivision, it's going to be the same thing. If
Same
anybody
thing.
that builds a house in that new subdivision doesn't pay their bill, we can't turn anything off.
The only thing we could do is stop picking up trash, which I don't,
That's it. I
That's
just
all.
think that perhaps we need to start thinking outside the box on a different mechanism for this. I don't know what that is.
I agree.
Either it's perhaps late charges, I know we've talked briefly about that, or some other mechanism to encourage people. It looks like the list we have before us today, there's a couple of same ones, but
duplicates, correct?
but not very many, not as many as in the past.
Right, they have been getting caught up with them. I've been sending statements out to them. We do, from what I can tell from the auditor site, we're going to collect from them because they're active and they're probably paying their taxes through their mortgage, so it's coming through. But we get checks from the auditors twice a year.
We have I'm sorry. We had a comment or question from the Safety Service Director.
Thank you, through you. I think the largest percentage of people are going to pay their bill timely, right? So we're dealing with a small percentage here. I would like to see how late fees impact the response. And so I would also like to, we're working on the ordinances now to update them. I'd also like to consider somebody who's a repeat late fee person, maybe 3 times in a 12-month rolling calendar is kind of what I'm thinking. And there's well, I'm just throwing this out there because it's the number that I was thinking of, a $250 penalty, something like that. So 5% if you're late 1 month or something like that, that it's just a little bit, helps cover the additional administrative costs. But if you're somebody who continuously doesn't pay on time, we track that, and somehow there's a bigger penalty to hopefully motivate you, because our options are limited on what we can do with those sewer and sanitation, sewer and sanitation only. I'm not in favor of not picking up the trash because I think it just sits and accumulates then somewhere, and that becomes a different problem for us. So I think maybe the penalty is the thing we try first and see how they respond, how residents respond, and then we could revisit that if it's not. And I think also we have to accept that we're going to have a certain percentage of accounts that are just, this is going to be the method, and hopefully not repeat, but from time to time that they're going to have to get certified over the auditor, and thankfully we have a good collection rate when we do that. So that is on the horizon. I hope to have that done, those ordinances ready for you for consideration maybe July. So we're just working on making some final revisions.
That would be wonderful. Mr. Snyder.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mrs. Connor, on these, they have the same ability as people that pay their bundled water, sewer, trash. They can homeowners in these sections also do the automatic, deduct from their checking and like normal? They have that option as well too, right?
Absolutely, through you, Mr. Chair, yes. They have the same things available to them as anybody in the city can do.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't anything
Right.
different.
I don't think, do we have a big group paying like at Drug Mart anymore?
Yes,
Do we still?
we do. There's probably 1,000 or so customers that pay at Drug Mart every month.
Mrs. Soroka.
Thank you, through the chair. Sort of piggyback on Mr. Snyder's comment and the director's comment, I think finding maybe a solution, what late fee, whatever it is, because again, I'm thinking about the clerical work that this is taking, the extra clerical work that
Very
this is
expensive.
taking each and every month, and as we grow and have more accounts that are in this sort of bucket, if you will. That's what I'm concerned about, so I'm glad we're looking into it.
Any additional questions? If not, I will read, thank you, Ms.
Oh,
Connor.
you're welcome.
I will read the committee report. We have considered the matter of inactive, delinquent public utility accounts. A resolution authorizing said delinquent accounts to be certified to the Lorraine County Auditor's Office as per the attached list. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, number 3, the matter of a contract for the resurfacing of a portion of East River Street, East Broad to Lincoln Court. This was approved by the Utilities Committee. Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last year, we applied for 5 projects through the Ohio Public Works Commission. We did receive all 5. The one, East River, is the first one of the 5 that I'll be talking about tonight. East River, the portion we're looking to resurface is from East Broad to Lincoln Court. We do not receive official notification, or the final notification and contracts from Ohio Public Works till July 1st. So at this time, we're looking to go out for bid and just get this ready to go. By the time the contracts then come from Ohio Public Works, we're ready to sign and contractors can start paving. So I'm just trying to jump ahead a little bit.
Ms. Sawerka?
Thank you, through the chair. The only question I have for you, John, is the crosswalk that used to be for the school, that's, I think it's at Lincoln, or it's Blaine, I'm not sure. Is that going to stay, that additional, because there's that crosswalk, then there's emergency room crosswalk, then there's the under the catwalk crosswalk, and then there's the illegal crossing, not at Broad Street, at the parking lot of the hospital to the front door crosswalk.
I believe the intent is to remove that
Okay,
from the,
because it would have been there from the school.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
there for the school
Exactly.
at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I guess that's what I was basically going to say, if they revisit all them crosswalks, because some could be pulled out and some could be added, but they're going to work on getting that all squared away then.
We're eliminating the one at Lincoln. The one at the ER will remain. The one currently at the parking garage will remain. And then you have essentially a crosswalk at East Broad Street at the light. Unfortunately, people don't use the crosswalks that we have out there a lot of times. They just cross wherever they want to cross. There have been discussions in the past working with the hospital to try to funnel people over to those, but that would require some improvements on the hospital side as well.
I'm not on this committee, but this was brought to utilities. I just want to clarify, John, in utilities, did you say they were going to be replacing or maybe have to consider replacing the handicap ramps at some of those locations, just because if they've settled or if they're
Replacing
in compliance from what it was?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, as part of the overall design, we will look at that to see if they meet today's standards or not. Those standards change more often than they need to, I think, but, or if they're just not in or if they're in bad condition, we do replace the ramps themselves. I think what I was referring to at the last meeting was more so if we were to move one somewhere, we'd have to put new ones in and eliminate the old ones, but at this time, we're just planning on keeping the existing locations.
Thank you.
Mrs. Sawerka?
Thank you. I have another question. I don't know if you can answer, maybe the director. The changing of the helicopter pad, is that going to change any of the crosswalk or any of the cross traffic? Since it's going to be down on the ground behind the school, right?
I have not seen any plans of that yet myself, and how that impacts it.
I mean, that's
I
not
understand
foot
the
traffic.
general
Obviously, that's
location,
not
but-
foot traffic, but there's still ambulances, trying to get through.
I don't see how it would. It's all private property, but
And one additional question, when this work is done, I'm assuming there's going to be some contingency plan to allow for still access to the emergency room, because you can only do it through East River.
Yeah, I mean, this is a mill and fill, so there's nothing
Oh, okay.
crazy going on, so they'll be able
Okay.
to maintain traffic.
It'll be
with
short.
flaggers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? I'm sorry, Mr. Oswald? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pileski first. Mr. Oswald.
Through Mr. Chair. So I was working on a house back in a time, maybe 6 years ago, 7, whatever, when they were landing some of their helicopters in McKinley School. And I remember at that time when they would drop, they would close down the intersection, the fire or fire trucks, whatever, would pull in because they were landing here and they would come through, I'm not thinking of the name of the street that comes through into McKinley School. Is there going to be any provisions have they thought about that, about putting caution lights on, blinking when this thing is dropping down in a school? Because it seems to me that that's why they were cutting off that intersection, so no car happened to come through into McKinley School when this helicopter was dropping in the field.
Are you talking about the intersection off of Park Avenue?
The intersection, I believe it's Princeton, is it?
Sherman.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Sherman, right there. And I do remember they would close that down, and just as a precaution, so, it's like when a fire truck takes off, we got caution lights blinking, until they clear.
I'm sorry, Safety Service Director.
Thank you. Through you. My understanding is that the reason why they had to have the fire trucks there and other things is that's not the normal landing spot that has the lights and the other safety, and that's what they're installing. So they're taking away the rooftop landing because of issues that it has there and moving it and making an actual landing pad back there. So I think that they'll take into consideration all those protective measures. So I don't believe, my understanding is we won't have to have a fire department there every time they land in that spot. It'll become their permanent landing spot. And so that's what the conversion is. All the details more than that, I don't have all those details, but it is truly building a different spot that'll have different safety mechanisms in place permanently.
Mr. Pileski, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for items 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, the local share has been appropriated in the Muni Motor Vehicle Tax Fund. So that share, that is taken care of, but the Ohio Public Works Commission share has not been appropriated. So at the next meeting, I'll be asking to create 5 new capital project funds, and then I'll get the estimates from John and do the appropriation at the next meeting.
Thank you. There's Mr. Lippian.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Well, I want to thank the engineering department for the success of getting this road fixed. I would have liked to have seen more of East River, but I'm happy with what we got, and it was by the hospital, and thanks for the engineering department for working with me on getting that application. And I'd just like to ask a question I brought up. This is germane to the topic of East River and to my question of the extension beyond what's written here for the award. There is a problem with the retroreflectivity of the road paint, which I brought up, about a year and a half or so ago, around the time that Espresso Bakery had a car run into it. The conversation had been around, well, how do we make it clearer that there's a curve there? And if you go there at night and you look at the paint, you can see that it's not retroreflective anymore. So what I'm wondering is it possible to pay, perhaps with the Muni Motor Vehicle Tax Fund, but outside the scope of this project, to get more of that retroreflective paint at least extended further down the road, even if we can't get the pavement fixed further down the road, so that at least it's clear and more conspicuous for drivers to reduce that risk?
Well, as you said, you can't include it as part of this project. Ohio Public Works requires you stay within your project limits as you submitted your application. But outside of that, you could use additional funding. That's, council's, at the council's whim. I do know the street department, they do have a striping machine that does have glass beads that they can put down as well that will help. Obviously, their paint's not a longer lasting paint, but it is a they can provide the reflectivity, I think, that you're looking for. It just doesn't last as long because it's a water base, and the paint that we typically use, which we'll use on this project, will be a thermoplastic, which is the thicker paint that you see out there typically, which you see on East Broad and Cleveland Street now.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. Obviously not as part of this project, but I'm wondering if you can't kill two birds with one stone and just repaint that stripe for the, like I said, the retroreflectivity of the paint going down the road. Is that something the engineer, the safety service director thinks we could do this year? Perhaps in concert with this project, but obviously not as part of it?
Through you, Mr. Chair. If John wants to explore the pricing on that to add that work outside of this, then I'd be happy to look at it. If not, we can certainly work with the street department to at least improve it to within those means. But yeah, why don't you take a look at it and see if there's something there that we can look at cost-wise, and we can see what it looks like.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I think it would improve the safety, especially given the new business owners that are setting up there now and doing very well. So thank you. It's an
Thank
exciting
you.
project. I'm glad it's getting fixed.
Any additional questions? Not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of 2025 OPWC resurfacing project, East River Street, East Broad to Lincoln Court, and ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for the said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in 2025 budget. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question?
Question's been called. All in favor, use a voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, number 4, the matter of a contract for the resurfacing of a portion of Gulf Road, Hilliard to Vista Court. This was approved by Utilities Committee on May 7th. Engineer Schneider.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we're looking to repave portion of Gulf Road from Vista Court to Hilliard Road this year with the Ohio Public Works funds as well as city funds. Prior to this, we will be replacing the water main in this section as well. That will happen before the resurfacing. We're actually out for bid right now for the water main, which, so even though we're going to be going out for bid for this, we probably won't see the construction as far as the paving goes until October, early October is the plan, so they can finish the water main. But yes, at this time, we're looking to pave this portion of Gulf.
Here's my question. 100 yards south on Gulf is where all that work was just completed on Overbrook. The road is fairly damaged. Is there any way that we could move from Hilliard past the farthest entrance?
Unfortunately, not with this Ohio Public Works. When we submit our applications in September of last year, we have to define, just like on East River, we have to define our project limits, and then you are held to those project limits. So it's one thing if it was 5 or 10 feet, it's another thing if it's 200-300 feet, yes.
The sewer you were talking about, that's part of the,
water.
part of the Overbrook project, correct?
Yes. Yeah, the same.
Any additional questions? Mr. Schneider?
Through you, Mr. Chair, did you say the timeline for the paving was, would you say October?
It more likely it's going to be like early October, yes.
Okay, thanks. I was hoping it would be over the summer with school traffic going up and down Gulf. I know it tends to be crazy at certain times of the day, but it is what it is. Thank you.
Unfortunately, when we do the water main, we're going to have to close the road because the new water main with the limited right-of-way you have out there and all the utilities you have, it's going to be in the roadway, so.
Thank you. Any additional questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of 2025 OPWC resurfacing project, Gulf Road, Hilliard to Vista Court. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for the said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in 2025 budget. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, number 5, the matter of a contract for the resurfacing of a portion of Leona Street, Midway Boulevard to Griswold. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Same as previous two, we're just looking to go out for bid. This is a small section of Leona Street between Midway and Griswold. It's just the asphalt portion, the concrete that was done by the state, what was it, about 7, 8 years ago. That's in good, really good condition. So it's just basically from the intersection to intersection within the asphalt area.
Any questions from the committee? Ms. Davis.
To you, Chair, I just want to say thank you that you were able to get this program. It is so crumbly over there, and it has a lot of traffic, trucks and all going into Lowe's and so forth. So I hope whatever we do, we can maintain and keep it up for a few years. That's the hard part, with so much traffic in and out of there. But thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Anyone else? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of 2025 OPWC resurfacing project, Leona Street, Midway Boulevard to Griswold Road, and an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for the said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in the 2025 budget. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, number 6, the matter of a contract for the resurfacing of a portion of Murray Ridge Road, 9967 Murray Ridge to 9740 Murray Ridge. Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For you, I guess with the addresses there, you might not know where the exact location is. This is essentially the southern portion of Murray Ridge, which is in the city of Elyria, from the DH, just south of the DH there is a corporation line north to just right around, I think it's the north property line roughly of the Murray Ridge School. So it's corporation line to corporation line. Doesn't quite all the way go to, was it a Delbert? Or it's Albrecht?
Albrecht.
Yes, so it doesn't quite go to Albrecht, but because that portion of that's in the township, so, and it was in fairly decent condition in that area. And
So it crosses Infirmary.
yes,
It
it
goes
crosses
from-
Infirmary.
okay.
Yes. So it's just that southern portion, it's a relatively smaller area compared to the one that we'll be doing next year, which will be from Albrecht north to Lowell Street, but for now, we have this, and we'd like to get this constructed.
Any questions for the committee? Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I'm not on this committee. Next year can't come soon enough for Murray Ridge. But I do want to thank the street department. They've been going out doing lane tar and rolling it, and it's a little bit better, but I do appreciate what they've done. So thank you.
Any additional questions or comments from the committee? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the 2025 OPWC resurfacing project, Murray Ridge Road, 9967 Murray Ridge Road to 9740 Murray Ridge. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for the said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in the 2025 budget. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, number 7, the matter of a contract for the resurfacing of a portion of West River Road, State Route 57 to Foster Avenue. Engineer Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. West River Road from Foster Avenue to State Route 57, we've had a number of issues over the years, and we believe we finally corrected them all, and the road is in bad shape, and we'd like to resurface it. Pretty much the same as the 4 prior to this. It's just another section of road out there that we want to take care of.
It's a good thing, West Side. Any questions from the committee? If not, I'll read the committee report then. We have considered the matter of 2025 OPWC resurfacing project, West River Road, State Route 57 to Foster Avenue, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for the said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in the 2025 budget. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, the matter of accepting a grant through the Ohio Attorney General's Office for the Shine a Light on Dumpsters program.
Dumpers. Shine a light on dumpers.
Shine a light on dumpers, excuse me. This was approved by the Utilities Committee on May 7th. Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a new grant that we applied for that we're asking for council's approval to accept. Essentially, it's a $19,400 grant for trying to prevent or clean up illegal dumping and vandalism type of activities that have happened. We're looking to try to use this over at our quarry to try to put up some sort of fencing that would hopefully be more vandal-proof, because we continue to put up fencing and it continues to be cut, and we're out there every year. So it was one of those things that we thought we'd try to eliminate some of the issues that happen over there as well, because there's a lot of garbage that ends up over there as well, and ends up just going into the river, so.
This is a great thing. It's a shame that we have to do it, but it's a potential fix. Any questions from the committee? Mrs. Davis.
Through you, Chair. So the fencing, would that run along, what's that back street? Riverside versus West River, because the fencing on West River is kind of tall. I guess we've been working on that, but the signage is no good on West River side.
The intent was to put it where they've been cutting it, and they've been cutting it on the backside of the riverside, you could say, on the other side of the river where they crossed. That was the intent as of right now. There is a limited number of funds. We don't know how far we're going to get with this, but that was the intent, to try to put it in an area where it's, they continue to vandalize the fence.
Safety Service Director.
Thank you. Through you to Councilwoman Davis, we have a sign department, so if you have some signage that you think would be helpful, please let me know, and we can work on maybe making that in-house.
Through you,
Great
Chair.
idea.
Before, we had asked for them to be like on a pole instead of on the fence itself, like be a setback, but tall enough so people can see, because they just snatch it off, they just take them off the fence. But if it have a setback with the signage on it, on a pole, then it won't be so quickly accessible, but they can see the signage.
Okay. If you like, you and I can talk a little further about that. but
Okay.
Maybe we can do that in-house.
Any additional questions from the committee? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of Shine a Light on Dumpers grant program, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the said grant through the Ohio Attorney General's Office. The city was awarded the said grant in the amount of $19,400. emergency clause is requested since the grant has been awarded. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use a voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, number 9, the matter of city property, Ford F-150 truck that is unfit for use and to be taken out of service and to be disposed of by the best means possible. Safety Service Director.
Thank you, through you. This is a 2011 Ford F-150. Mileage is over 72,000 miles, and like many of the vehicles we have of that age, it has some rust, and so it's served its useful life. So we'd like to dispose of it probably through gov deals. We've had some pretty good luck with people still liking pickup trucks of that type.
Mrs. Sawerka.
Thank you, through you. Director, whose truck was this? What department's truck was this, do you know?
Looking at the referral submitted by Mr. I, it does not indicate which department it came from, so unfortunately, I don't have that.
If you could just get back to me on that one, and then the next one too. Well, that one's a trailer. That's probably a chipper.
The trailer was from wastewater.
Oh, gotcha, okay, thank you. I just, through the chair, I
Yes.
just wondered if that truck's already been replaced by another truck, or if it even needs to be replaced, if we're getting rid of it. But I don't need to know right now, just.
Yeah, we had a truck from water distribution, and this might be it, but the way he refers them, and then by the time they get here, I sometimes lose track. We did have one from water distribution for Mr. Rothgary's department that we were not replacing. So I do think that's this one, but I'll confirm that and
Okay,
send you an email.
thank you.
Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm not on this committee, but to piggyback what Mrs. Swerka was saying, that I've heard comments, and I don't want to micromanage, but we're going into times where we shouldn't be spending money, and maybe these different departments should revisit how many trucks they actually need. The comments I hear is, do we need all those? Does everybody have to have their own truck? Can we be more efficient? And like I said, I'm not going to micromanage each department, but maybe we need to start looking into, we get rid of one, do we really need to replace it? Or do we have to have a vehicle for everybody? I'm going to pick on engineering. Let's say you got 6 engineering, you need 6 vehicles, or when they take off, can they use that one and share? So maybe in times where we're trying to be more efficient with the money we've got, maybe we should start looking at maybe not replacing them.
I believe what was presented was we're getting rid of it and not replacing it, but at this time, I'll turn it over to the Safety Service Director.
Sure, since Councilman Oswald brought it up, I'd be happy to just briefly talk. We've started having those conversations, more of a motor pool approach to not just vehicles, but also tools and equipment, right? So this department has 2 of these things, and this department sometimes needs it. Well, this department over here has it, only uses it X number of days a year. Well, then let's schedule it, right? Let's plan a little bit better so we don't need every department to have something, right? So we've started having those conversations and looking at those things, because I believe in that approach a little bit stronger. So
Thank
I do hope to see some change in that in the near future.
Mr. Schneider?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Director Pianowski, is there typically, just out of curiosity, is there like a threshold that we like to get rid of mileage-wise, or does it just depend on the nature of the use of the vehicle? Like this one's 72,000, is there usually a cutoff where we like to get it on gov deals at a certain mileage, or is it just based on the condition of the?
No, through you, Mr. Chair, I think that it's just when it's reached the end of its useful life, and sometimes the mileage isn't necessarily an indicator of that. You got to remember some of these trucks are ran hard in the winter plowing snow, and so the use of some of them, it took me a while to kind of appreciate that, because sometimes you look at the mileage and like, why are we getting rid of this? But I mean, we run them, we use them for real hard work pretty much every day, so.
Thank you for your response.
Thank you. Any additional questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of finding the city has the following vehicle to be removed from service because it is no longer fit for the city use and to be disposed of by the best means possible. 2011 Ford F-150 truck. A resolution declaring the said vehicle is unfit for city use and an ordinance authorizing the said vehicle to be disposed of by the best means possible in accordance with the law. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, number 10, the matter of city property, trailer 20 XPT that is unfit for use and to be taken out of service and to be disposed of by the best means possible. Safety Service Director.
Thank you. This trailer is a 2011 trailer, and we believe it's seen its useful life used up. The bed is rusted through and needs replaced. There's other rust and damage to the metal, so we'd look to sell it to somebody who's willing to make that investment. And I don't know if I think this has already been replaced, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But we're looking to get this out of our inventory and sell it on Gov Deals.
Thank you. 2011 seems like yesterday, but that was 14 years ago. It's crazy. Any questions from the committee? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of finding the city has the following trailer to be removed from service because it is no longer fit for city use and to be disposed of by the best means possible. 2011 Eager Beaver trailer 20 XPT. A resolution declaring the said trailer is unfit for city use and an ordinance authorizing the said trailer to be disposed of by the best means possible in accordance with the law. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, number 11, the matter of city property, Reading truck body that is unfit for use and to be taken out of service and to be disposed of by the best means possible. Safety Service Director.
Thank you. This is the last one for this evening. This truck bed it's the bed with the boxes on the side where we put tools, lift it out, but it's got some rust and they're looking to replace it with another box type setup for those maintenance folks that are out and about, probably at parks. That's what we're looking to do.
Thank you. Any questions for the Safety Service Director? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of finding the city has the following truck body to be removed from service because it is no longer fit for city use and to be disposed of by the best means possible. 2015 Reading truck body. A resolution declaring the said truck body is unfit for city use and an ordinance authorizing the said truck body to be disposed of by the best means possible in accordance with the law. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Question's been called for. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 12, the matter of class action litigation regarding firefighting foam, AFFF, and retaining Brian Balzer Law to represent the city. Law Director Deary.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. several, or actually at the beginning of this year, Mayor Brubaker was contacted by email from a law firm out of Florida regarding a class action lawsuit. To summarize it, it has to do with permanent chemicals known as the acronym PFAS, and these permanent chemicals are found in firefighting foam, commonly found in extinguishers and other equipment that are used around the country, or were previously used in years past by fire departments. The mayor and I reached out to Brian Balzer, who handles class actions of this matter, and just to pick his brain on also to see if this is something he would be interested in the event that we were able to ascertain that the Elyria Fire Department had utilized some of these products, and he indicated that that was something that this was the case that he was currently working on. So in the ensuing weeks, the mayor and I were able to confirm with Chief Pronesti that these products were utilized in the last decade or so by the fire department, that we would have verification of that, which would be needed in order to enter this class action. And therefore, at this time, I'm requesting that council would approve the retention of Attorney Balzer's firm to allow the city to participate in this class action for purposes of recouping any monies that the city may be entitled to as a result of our fire department utilizing these materials.
Are there any questions first from the committee? Mrs. Sawerka?
Thank you, through the chair. And it's kind of jumping ahead, assuming that we would win and assuming there would be some sort of settlement. Where would those monies go back to? Would they go back to the fire department? I think we should think about that. I mean, if we're, obviously they used this foam. Obviously, if this lawsuit is settled, I have no problem with Brian. He's done multiple other large class actions. But I do think we should have some serious conversation. If we win this money, it should go to the fire department.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, and obviously, we don't know how this will all unfold or how long it will take. It may very well be that if there's some sort of settlement, I don't know that it will necessarily be as complex as, say, the opioid litigation, but it may very well be that any sort of settlement may specify that the proceeds can only be used for particular matters. For instance, with the opioid litigation, settlement monies could only be used for recovery, law enforcement, et cetera, et cetera. So I could foresee that it may very well specify that can only be used for those first responders. But I certainly, I certainly see what you're saying, that should council wish to pass a resolution that would earmark any monies that should come as a result for, obviously it's still a general fund account, but setting up some sort of, and I would defer to Director Pileski on this, but a sub account or something for that, for specifically the fire department.
If I may continue, Mr. Chairman?
Please.
I don't know that we're at that point. I don't think that that's not my intent. But I do think that if this is settled and there's some sort of parameters that we could work within, it could even go towards medical costs, because I'm guessing that this foam is tied to some specific diseases. And if they're, if, you know, if they're connecting the dots between this particular person or category of employee had this particular disease, they're going to, you know, connect these dots. It would even go towards our healthcare for that department in the future. I'm not suggesting we do it right now, but I do think that at some point, when we know more about it, when Mr. Balzer can give us an update perhaps, is there a date? Are there any dates on any of this?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I believe earlier, the sooner the better that the city would, you know, get on board, the better. But no, Attorney Balzer's not given me any hard and fast deadlines yet.
Thank you.
This type also is an active in Ansel systems for hoods in kitchens. This is also part of that same lawsuit. It's big. Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Mr. Chair, thanks. I'm not on this committee. That I like the way that you're thinking, but like somebody else would ask, my question is, so do we owe money to Mr. Balzer for retaining his services at this point? And if so, does that come out of your budget, or where does that come from?
Through you, Mr. Chair, this would be on a contingency basis should council approve, which means that Mr. Balzer would, there would be an agreement between Attorney Balzer's firm and the city. He would be paid a portion percentage out of any settlement that the city would receive. And we would agree to that prior to, or at the time that we retained him.
Okay, thank you.
So nothing out of pocket or fronted.
Okay, I like that.
Any additional questions? Mr. Pileski, I'm sorry.
I was, through you, Mr. Chair, I was just going to comment, if it's anything like the opioid settlement, we would probably set up a special revenue fund to account for it separately, but you can appropriate it for fire or whatever out of that fund. But if it's any large amount of money, I would rather keep it out of the general fund, set up a separate fund. That way, if there's any questions on how the money was spent, we don't have to dig through the general fund to figure it all out. But that probably will be a requirement of the settlement anyway, so.
Thank you. There's no further questions. I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of class action litigation regarding firefighting foam and the potential of retaining Brian Balzer Law to represent the city in said litigation. An ordinance authorizing to retain Brian Balzer Law in any said litigation. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly second.
Question?
Just 1 second, Mr. Lippian.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, and I'm not on this committee, but with the contingency, is there a split on the contingency? For example, if let's say that the contingency is awarded, is there like an 80-20 split or a 60-40 split, or is there no split at all?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm not, if I understand Mr. Lippian's question correctly, yes, the agreement that would be entered into following the ordinance being approved would set forth what percentage Attorney Balzer's firm would receive. I've not yet received his proposal for this litigation. However, his previous litigation, I believe, I will have to double check, but I believe that it was
30.
No, it was 20, I want to say it was 24%.
24.
Was his share.
Okay. I guess just before it comes to council, it would be good if we could get clarification on that split.
I would fully anticipate, yes, that after this committee meeting, I will reach out to Attorney Balzer and I will have the proposed agreement as the exhibit to the ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Question's been called. All in favor, please use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 14, the matter of amendments to the 2025 Permanent Appropriations Ordinance. Director Farrell?
I'll take that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, John.
Through you, Mr. Chair. So we have 4 tonight. So as you may recall, the city did receive a SAFER grant to hire 3 additional firefighters, was it? 3. So we've estimated the 2025 portion to be $140,000 for salary and wages and $87,280 for benefits and pension. So that would be in the SAFER grant fund, SAFER grant department, salary and wages, and benefits and pension. The EPD Equitable Sharing Fund, which is a fund that we utilize for the police department to account for funds received from investigations that the EPD is involved with the federal government. So there is some money in that fund, and they would like to spend $72,000 on replacing their outdated ballistic protection vests. And then in the Public Works Complex Construction Fund, which of course is the big project we got going on, we borrowed $21 million, so as the money sits idle, we have it invested in a very liquid investment, but there are investment fees associated that are withheld from the interest earnings, so appropriating $10,000 for investment fees for this year. And finally, in the general fund, Parks and Recreation Department, Ms. Reardon received a NOPEC grant for $3,500, and that's to help offset the cost of summer entertainment in Ely Square, so she would like that appropriated in her operating and maintenance account.
Are there any questions for the finance? Ms. Sawerka?
Thank you, through the chair. Do you know how many vests they're purchasing? Or the age of the old vests?
Safety Service Director? I'm sorry.
Thank you. The old vests are over 5 years old. They're past their expired date, and this is to replace them for the SWAT team. So it's not the entire department, it's the specialized unit on this one.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of 2025 permanent appropriation changes and an ordinance authorizing to amend the said permanent appropriations as per the attached. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, please use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And that concludes this evening's business.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Earlier, the committee passed an ordinance to award a 6% increase to municipal court employees. So in order to move forward with that, we would need to amend the salary ordinance.
I would call on, should I step out for that as well?
Through you, Mr. Chair, Director Plesky, members of the committee, what I would suggest is that my office can prepare an ordinance to do that. We can prepare that, circulate that, and we don't have anything before the committee this
I believe we
evening.
already have the exhibit prepared, so.
Do you have it here this evening by chance?
Yep.
You did? Okay. All right, then we can go ahead and we can do a committee report if we have a blank committee report.
The exhibit was attached.
Okay, do you have a blank committee report? so the committee can take action? Yes.
Point of order, can we just amend the previous motion with the committee report that approved the salary and just put a sentence in there and change the salary ordinance as appropriate?
Through you,
The only reason, sorry, Law Director, the only reason I mention that is because I believe the ordinance that was attached has all 3 years in it. And since we're only doing 1 year, we wouldn't want to adopt that because the attachment that was given to us has the 3 years.
Well, I think
through you, Mr. Chair.
that was from 2020.
This was the 2022 ordinance that you're referring to? I believe it was a sample.
Right.
No, there was another one that was attached.
Okay. Well, through you, Mr. Chair, what I would suggest is that if you do have the exhibit tonight, then if the committee would like to make a motion to amend the salary ordinance, that would be a separate piece of legislation. And if there's a motion and a second on a current occurrence, then that would be ready to go, and the legislation could be prepared and would go to the next council meeting along with the ordinance to deal with the increase.
Mrs. Davis, what I'm going to do at this point is turn this back over to you. She is doing the committee report right now. I will step out until we're complete.
Madam Chair, I think I can help here. Through you, I didn't realize that the clerk had the original exhibit that the court had presented. What I handed to her this evening was one with just the 6% for the January of 2025.
Okay.
So the one that you have in your hand right there, I don't think that belongs with the committee report. And hopefully the one I prepared is correct, but I'm pretty sure it's 6%, 1 year, all the Muni Court employees.
I will read the committee report. We have considered the matter of amending the salary ordinance to address adjustment to the Elyria Municipal Court employees' salary, emergency clause implemented, amending to the salary ordinance to reflect 6% increase to municipal court employees' salary, non-elected, non-bargaining emergency clause requested. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. All in favor?
Question.
I'll call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Has the same right. Thank you.
Mrs. Davis, again, thank you very much. Colleen, thank you very much for drawing that. If there's no further business to conduct, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded.
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, use the voting sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, everyone.